Greetings, YouTube. It's your old buddy Fishsuit here, your favorite DM in the entire world. And then there's Floor. Hey, Floor.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey there. Greetings, fellow innocent.
I feel like we haven't actually sat down and done this for a while, but it's only been the 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was ready.
But thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great week, and we'll see you later. We'll see you next time.
Until next time.
Wait, no, you can't say it yet. You can't say it yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
Famous line.
I thought we were done.
So if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, this is where we break down two of our campaigns, the two campaigns that we run live on Twitch. The first is, you can see behind us here, is Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden. The other is The Lost Mine of Phandelver. And in both of those campaigns, I'm the DM, and in both of those campaigns, Vlor is an annoying character that I try to kill week by week.
True. Checks out.
If you are watching this live on Twitch, or you are catching this very early on YouTube when it goes up, you can still enter our dice giveaway. You can head over to my Twitter, link below in the description. We're giving away some awesome dice in celebration of Vlor. Do you have the party hat? Put on the party hat now, Vlor.
Oh, damn it.
Put anything on your head as a hat. Anything you have. Hooray! We have our very own custom URL. It's youtube.com/c/fishsuit on Twitch. We finally got it. So in celebration of that, we're giving away some awesome metal dice. You can find the way to enter on my Twitter if you see this very early on YouTube, or you're watching out there live on Twitch right now. We do stream these on Twitch every other Sunday, pretty early in the morning, as soon as Vlora and I get up. As soon as we unspoon, Vlora's the little spoon, of course. So as soon as we wake up, I make Vlora's morning coffee, he showers, and then we come in here and do the podcast. I don't know why that tickled me so much, but it does. Without further ado, let's break down some of our sessions. I thought both of these sessions were awesome, Vlora. I really, really enjoyed both of these.
As did I.
I think that our switch to a 2-hour format is just helping me be able to be present in the story a little bit more and not have to worry about the breadth of prep that might have to accompany a 4-hour session. A 2-hour session narrows down my focus and allows me to just prep better for those possible 2 hours, rather than saying like, well, Jesus, at the end of 4 hours, they could be here or here or here. And so it helps me a lot with that. And I think that that narrowing of the focus has made these sessions so much more fun, both as a DM and I hope as a player. So let's get started with Icewind Dale. This is going to be our next session. We're going to play the next session of Icewind Dale tomorrow. That's going to be January 18th if you're watching this early. This will be tomorrow evening, but we started this out where we've been for the last several sessions, which was here in the old Verbeeg lair.
I really enjoyed this one. I think this was my favorite episode so far.
Can you believe we've done 10 sessions of this already?
No.
10. Tomorrow is going to be session 10 of Frostmate, which just like blows my mind.
It doesn't seem like it.
No, it doesn't at all. I feel like you've done like, if there was like a progress bar where every time you saved this D&D campaign, your progress bar would be like 4%. Like, truly.
That's good to know.
Truly, like, if you're having fun in this campaign, you have a lot more to go. So you have a lot more to look forward to. And if you're not having fun, sorry, Bob. If you're not having fun, sorry, Jackson. I thought that there was... I didn't foresee much... I didn't have many guesses, I should say, as to how the session was actually going to play out. You could have very easily just kind of been like, all right, peace. Like you killed everything that was in here. You got the thing you came for, and you could have very easily just pieced out. But instead you and your companions spent the majority of this session continuing to explore the Verbeek layer and trying to just
Yep.
100% it more or less. So you started. The session started with Cleo walking over to this bag of what we know as circuit boards, which she doesn't really understand at all, and saying like, well, can I just hide these away so that the rest of the party doesn't see them? And it's kind of like, not a thing, not really. There's just so much. It's going to be really tough to try to hide these away. You're going to be dragging this bag behind you, which she did. Brought them back over to the party here, which we revived and got everybody back up to. Well, it was an instant heal on Kindar, I think, and then you were unconscious for a while, right?
Yep, I was still unconscious. They put me in the cart next to the barrels of mead, which there was some shenanigans that happened with that. Of course, Cleo wanting to take some of the mead.
I honestly, I forgot all about this. Tell me your recollection of that.
So after they put us, we went back to the original resting area. Cleo, I guess because she was on her first watcher, we were resting. She decided she wanted to get some of that mead, even though she already had like a jar of it, right? And so she pulled the cork with some kind of bad rolls. She messed up the hole where the meat is coming out. So now there's wax, there's putty from a disguise kit, just like everything that you could find to stuff that hole so that the mead doesn't leak out. And I think it was still dripping a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think the seal was perfect, but she definitely had like a series of pretty poor rolls to try to. It was like sleight of hand, and she was also trying to hide it from the other, not wake anybody up and all that stuff. But she did eventually get it done. I think she stole a little makeup, some like putty from a makeup kit or a disguise kit that you had.
Yeah, I don't know. Either she took it from mine or she saw that I had one and remembered that she did as well.
Okay.
So I don't really remember which one it was, but yeah, of course, I wake up and my leg is wet. I'm assuming that I peed myself.
It smells like honey, which is weird.
Well, that's me. Some have asparagus pee. I have honey pee. I mean, what can you say?
I love Sunflower. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Is that I love the way that Sunflower is playing Cleo, because she has a very distinct personality. I think in that she's trying to get everything she can for her, but she's also doesn't want. Like, she doesn't want to be like outwardly like stealing from the party. So
yeah,
she makes this, and she it's not just like knee jerk. Cleo does this. It's all right. How could Cleo get away with this? And she kind of talks it out. So I really love these little like interstitials with Cleo trying to like fuck over the party in some way, but not in a way where the party would ever find out, because she's like very careful not to give away too much of her trying to steal from the party.
I also feel like she plays it off cutesy though. Right. So even if she does get caught, she's like, "Oh, come on, guys, I was just kidding."
Right. It's like a nod and a wink. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Was there a rest here?
I think there was a short rest.
Yeah, short rest.
Just long enough so that I could get a hit point back.
That's right. You came back, and I let you roll a hit dice, I think, and gave you some extra HP even, because I'm such a generous lover.
That day. On that day.
Not always generous. You'll probably have some complaints in the drow fight that we're going to talk about later.
Hey. DM calls are what it is.
Yeah, they are.
That's all I gotta say.
I think that after you woke up, after everybody was up and had some HP, you decided that you wanted to go back and explore the cavern where the Verbeeg and the Cave Bear were, because that statue was still there and you were really interested in that.
That was something that Kendar actually brought up, which was kind of odd for me. Just as the character, it didn't. I don't know. It seemed like he was more interested in that than anyone else.
Well, he had a role there. He had a role against, and he recognized the statue as a god, as one of the, as a Sylvanus, right? The god of nature, god or something.
Yep.
Recognized and also recognized through a very high like Arcana roll that there was something weird here. Like because of the nature of detect magic, which I think should be a more ubiquitous spell in 5e, if I'm being honest. I think that if you are a casting class, that you should have access to detect magic. I don't think it should be as locked down as it is.
Yeah, I would say I'd agree with that, because everybody else, if they're using magic, I'm sure that they can tell if something is magical.
Either that, or there should be some other mechanic that's some other item, maybe, or potion or something that would allow you to detect magic, because it's so often in these campaigns that I'm running for where people are like, I want to roll an Arcana check to see if I detect magic. Well, it doesn't really work like that. In order to detect magic, you have to use the spell Detect Magic. There's no way to just do a standard D20 roll on any kind of character to detect magic. It just doesn't work like that. But there's so many things that are built into these worlds from Wizards of the Coast that are like, in order to see this, your characters need to detect magic. And it's like, well,
yep.
I don't know. I don't. What if your party can't detect magic? Then you just miss this whole thing. Like, yeah, I guess, but I don't know. It's something that's always kind of bothered me, and it's something that honestly a lot of times I will fudge. And so, like I'll let one of like the highest Arcana proficient character essentially with an Arcana check detect magic. You know what I mean? Like I will let that happen.
You know, I kind of feel like even with an Arcana check, someone can tell if something has been magically, imbued. I mean, they're probably not going to see what the school of magic is. They're not going to see how powerful the magic is, but they can tell that it's magical.
Right. And that's kind of what happened with his Arcana check on the statue and the water around it. It was. He knew that something was magical here. He knew that something was crazy was going on, but he didn't really have anything else. He couldn't detect anything else because he couldn't detect magic.
Yeah.
On the way through the whole party's kind of like marching through, and on the way through, you Gusto casts a little. This is one of your racial abilities, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think it's either racial or because I'm a Tempest domain.
Okay.
So I just gotta say, Gusto wanted to see what was in that as bad as
right,
as bad as Cleo, but was not willing to take it upon himself to anger the party. But if there was a chance that he could get away with it without actually having it fall on him, yeah, he was taking it. And I thought at the beginning of the session when we were in that room resting, I thought that we were just going to be like, okay. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to see what's in there then.
Right.
But then Kendar. Thank you.
Yeah. So you guys, Kendar's basically leading you back into the cave with the water and the statue underwater, and on your way through, you cast Levitate on the stone slab on top of this tomb, and knowing basically that Cleo's every time she walks by, this thing is trying to shove it open, trying to get it open, and it's just too heavy for her.
Yep.
So I really like the way this next little section played out, which was that you, in the cavern, begin your detect magic ritual, and Cleo, staying back from everybody else, pushes the door to the top of the coffin off and sees the barbarian skeleton inside, and sees these two items, which we still don't know anything about.
Not yet.
We don't know anything about them yet. She grabs a wand and a small white stone clutched in the hands of this skeleton that was in the tomb. So we don't know anything about that yet. She grabs that stuff and is trying to make her speedy escape with the levitating tomb, top of the tomb, but because your levitation is a concentration spell,
Yep.
this is something that'll come up in our other recap here of lore, but you can't have two concentration spells going at the same time.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, apparently you can't.
Okay.
And so as soon as you start your detect magic ritual, the stone lid of the coffin falls to the ground and smashes. You and Kindar are like, honestly, Gusto and Kindar are like, Cleo, it's just Cleo. But Jordy is pretty pissed, and because he was very much in the camp of, no, we cannot disturb this this resting place. And so he runs in there, sees Cleo, which she's hidden the wand and the stone in her bag. So nobody really knows that they were there except for her at this point in the narrative. And they have a little argument about that, and Cleo is very much like she's very much like,
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. And she kind of didn't. Like, she didn't really understand that you had cast Levitate on the tomb, and so she didn't mean for it to smash everywhere. She just wanted to see what was inside. And Jordy's like, of course you meant to do it. You've been trying to do it. This is what you wanted to do. And so they have like a little argument. She storms off and is like really upset. And Jordy's kind of like Jordy's pretty upset too. And he's just like, shrugs. I mean, at that point, basically like shrugs his shoulders and is like, wow, Cleo gonna Cleo.
Yeah.
But she walks off and actually is just kind of like so upset that she doesn't even inspect the wand and the stone. And I'll be honest, like, I think that's another good role play moment for her, because if I'm the player, I am fucking, as soon as I'm out of eyesight, I am taking that thing out and trying to figure out what it is. I don't know if that's like specifically, I don't feel like that's metagame. I feel like that is just like, I would want to know, but she is like playing it as like she's so upset, like she's pissed, like her party doesn't believe her.
You know, and not to shy away from what happened at the end of last session, at the previous session, where she saw, you know, this Verby die with its pet.
Right.
You know, so if she's already a little distraught about that, then I can definitely see, you know, her not even trying to look at these items.
Yeah. But meanwhile, and like I said, I like the way you played this out because it was like two separate things were happening, and I always like when there's a couple things happening because I can switch back and forth, and that's always fun for me as a DM. Mm-hmm. We switch back over to Gusto, who is performing this ritual, and again, we kind of examine the relationship between Gusto and Kindar. And I don't know if it was this session or the session before Vlor where I asked Zund if Kindar thought that Gusto was just a joke. It might have been this one, because this one is really where he sees Gusto in his robes performing magic.
Mm-hmm.
Like a religious ceremony.
Clipped that.
Oh, okay.
I actually clipped that. So that's going to be he's not
a complete joke.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can pop this open. This is new high quality.
Seeing stuff that he...
This is new high quality fish tank stuff, or unconscious and dying stuff. Although I'm already screwing it up somehow. Can I not pop this player out? Rats. All right. Well, here's what we're gonna do.
Jeez, Willikers.
Here's what we're gonna do. Oh, never mind. I thought that I'd be able to pop this player out, but no. Oh, maybe. Oh yeah. That's what I want.
Right there. Yep, right there.
Might be seeing stuff that he wants to like piece it together. Might be seeing stuff that he either seen before and wants to like piece it together with his past, or or it might be something new to him.
Do you think Kinder? I mean, does Kinder kind of think Gusto's a joke?
A little bit. I mean, like with the way that it seems like he doesn't take things too seriously. Yeah. So, or like doesn't have like a strict set of morals, you know. So it seems like he's willing to kind of sacrifice morals for getting his goals of achieving his business and everything. So to see things more on the business side and not as more of like helping people and everything definitely would make Kindar be a little bit more like not I wouldn't say not trusting, but yeah, seeing him in
I feel like I could just see this as a moment where Kindar's like, oh, maybe this guy's for real. You know what I mean? Like this guy's maybe actually like not the joke, not a complete joke, maybe just a partial joke.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Cool. I really like that moment. Just because, like I said, this is the first time you've seen Gusto like actually like performing magic or performing like religious magic. You're conducting a ceremony.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ritual.
Right.
And I mean, it's kind of what you got to do to be in the right set to do these rituals. You have to like get into that I don't know, the mindset, the right clothing, the right, everything has to be right for the rituals to work.
Right. So. Just like pimp walk in there and be like, detect magic, like wiggle your fingers.
Especially not since I was out of spells. And the only way to do that was a ritual.
Right. That's true. So you detect magic, and boy, oh boy, do you detect magic, because Gusto detects like very, very strong magic coming from the water immediately around the statue. I think I described it as like a tea bag in a hot cup of water. You can see from the statue the magic like infusing into the water. And basically you spend the next little bit of time in the cave filling every open container you have with as much of this water as possible, including up to and including a whole giant empty barrel that you had.
Yeah, I mean, it was empty. Why not?
Nobody has sampled the water or drank it at all, but you do know that the magic from it is like it's like a holy magic. So you don't get the sense that it's dangerous. You're just not super sure what it does. But you know that it was good. It was good enough to spend some time like collecting it and getting as much as you could.
Yeah.
You on the way out of the cave, Geordi felt really strongly that that there needed to be some words said to try to make up for the smashed coffin lid of the chieftain. And so you guys had a small ceremony there for the chieftain. I think we have a clip of this as well.
Mighty chieftains.
It was really, really good. I think this was like one of the best moments. Just it was kind of emotional. It was. I really enjoyed it. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing that we'll come to learn some more stuff about Geordi, of course, but he has some experience with. Like obviously his class in this campaign is a barbarian, but he has some experience with the actual Rhaegar barbarians of Icewind Dale, and so he had a little ceremony, and Geordi said a few words while you were trying to properly put this chieftain back to rest.
Mighty chieftains, I didn't know you or your people, but I assume you were a mighty clan. And based on the pictographs, you slayed a mighty beast that probably gave great terror and suffering to the land. I was never part of a barbarian clan myself, but one barbarian did save my life. So I respect your culture, because without it, I may be dead.
Yeah, so you let a little bit of it out there where you hear Geordi says, there's a barbarian that saved my life. So that's like a first like little piece of Geordi's backstory, really, that you guys have gotten.
Yeah.
But I agree, Vlor, very cool moment. Jackson's definitely taking some of the role play part of this campaign to the next level. So I like that a lot. You guys didn't spend a whole lot more time here in the cave. It's pretty much what's done was done. You'd gotten everything you came for, and so you headed back to Goodmead, and basically completed your second quest here. Here in Rime of the Frostmaiden, you got back to Goodmead. Of course, there was a celebration. Everybody was happy that you were able to recover the mead. You dealt with the Verbeeg infestation. There was a few like housekeeping things that happened here because you have a lot of stuff with you now, and so you wanted to make sure that you could rent a storage shed here, and you went to the store and save and bought a storage locker. Here, no, but I mean. Olivessa,
they gave it to us for free.
That's right. Yeah, Olivessa was basically like, we will do whatever you want, because she really couldn't offer you guys any kind of monetary reward for all the things that you had done. And you knew that going in, really, that this was not going to be a come back here and I'm going to give you 100 gold for completing this quest. It was very much a, you will always have a place to sleep in Goodmead. You will be venerated here. I will do personally whatever you need me to do to help you out.
Sometimes that's even better than the monetary value. Just knowing that you have a place to stay and help, or someone to talk to, or a safe haven when you're traveling.
Let's go back, Vlor, to what seems like ages and ages ago, where you're in Caer Konig, right? And you're almost really are run out of Caer Konig on a rail. Because they were trying to basically, there was a mob, right? And luckily you guys kind of diffused that situation because the town speaker there was just a kind of a lush and he didn't really want any problems. But, it's definitely, you've only visited a few of these towns now, 3, 4 of the 10 towns. And so you don't really know what or who the leaders are going to be and what they're going to be like. And so, I totally agree with what you just said as far as, let's say you're run out of Caer Konig, right? And you don't have any place to go. Well, now you have a place to go in Goodmead. Like, the people of Goodmead are going to have your back. And so that's part of just a little peek behind the DM screen, is that's just part of the first couple chapters of this, is establishing yourself in 10 towns. And so the more you're able to ingratiate yourself with the people of 10 towns, the easier it's going to be for you to get the things you need in order to complete your quests and solve the mysteries that you're trying to solve and all that stuff. So there was a big celebration at the mead hall, and Olivessa gave you was talking to Jordy about some of the next pieces of the narrative that are important. I'm going to just pop this open so that I don't screw this up too badly. I just want to make sure I get the pertinent facts correct. So she said that there is, obviously the town speaker had been killed in this attack that took the mead that basically started your quest here. And she has, a couple people have approached her to run for the new town speaker. She's not really interested in it. But there is another guy in town who's named Shandar Froth. And he's a lumberjack dwarf. And there's like a group of people that want Olivessa to run, and then there's a group of people who want Shandar to run. And her friends really don't like Shandar. They don't trust him. They say he's untrustworthy. They don't know him that well, but she has no interest in the speakership, and she sees Jordy, as she kind of dealt with Jordy to get this quest going in the first place, and she sees him as sort of the leader of your party, regardless of how you all see Jordy as the leader of. If you see him as the leader of the party, she sees him that way, and so she says to Jordy, I really think that as a native of 10 towns, you could be a strong speaker for the people of Goodmead. You've already shown that you're able to protect us. You're a mighty warrior. And he was like, well, I'm not a diplomat. I am a fighter. And she's like, we need a fighter. We don't need somebody to sign treaties. We need somebody to wield their weapon and defend the people of Goodmead. And so he's like, very much like, I don't know. I don't really think I should. I'd probably not. And she's a little tipsy, and so she leans down and gives him a little kiss. And I wanted to clarify this. Kiss. I wanted to clarify again that she did not lean down and just start tonguing Jordy. Because I feel like Jackson might have been like, Jackson was a little like, oh God, oh God. So I definitely didn't mean it as a moment like that. She was just like very grateful, and she thinks that he's the best person to help out the town. And so we have a little clip from that. Just promise me you'll think about it.
Okay, but I think you don't give yourself enough credit. I've often heard the best person to be the leader often doesn't want to be leader. And that could be a good thing, because that means they don't want the power that comes with it. Because the people that want to be leader maybe just want the power. So you might end up being the best speaker the town has.
She leans down and kisses you. Look at Sunflower's face at the end of that. Oh, that's like Sunflower straight up PogChamps at the end of that. But yeah, so I definitely, just to clarify, I did not mean that Olivas grabs him and like force tongues him. That's definitely not that was not the tenor of that part of it. And that's right where we ended the session, basically. So we'll pick up there tomorrow. And anything else to add about this sesh, Vlor?
No, I can tell you that there's going to be some interesting things happening at the beginning of the next session.
Oh boy.
I know that Gusto would not have had anything to drink that night.
Oh, okay. All right. Very, very sneaky, sis. All right. We are over here. We're going to switch gears and start talking about our Lost Mine of Phandelver campaign, which we are in the twilight hours of. We are very, very close to completing this campaign. And I'm excited not only for the completion of this, but for the start of our new campaign for us. So,
as am I.
I'm looking forward to the last couple of sessions of Lost Mine, because we really have taken Lost Mine from a opening introduction to D&D, which is kind of what it was built as, to introduce new players to D&D. And we've taken it and made it into like an actual campaign.
Yeah.
Like like at this point, we have such a rich story. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back too much. I'm just so proud of what we've been able to do with this campaign. And like, all 5 of us have successfully woven a really interesting, compelling, funny, also emotional story out of this, which is essentially, like I said, just something that's built to introduce players to the world of Dungeons and Dragons. So, like I said, excited for the end, but I will definitely be sad to see some of these characters go once I kill them next week.
It probably will. Well, not next week, because we're doing the following week.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, no, I'm going to kill them off in the off week. You're just you're going to show up and just be like, oh no.
Just out of curiosity, are we going to get any more from I's backstory?
Yes. Okay. We're going to open up our next spoiler alert, but the next session of Lost Mine is going to be some I as fuck canon backstory, and that'll probably be the last real creative writing bit that I'll do for this. But yeah, we're going to get some more from her. for sure, because that's really the only character we haven't seen too much of. We didn't see a whole ton of Droop. There wasn't
we saw Droop at his worst, so.
What do you mean?
Being taken over by the Furbies or the Furbolgs.
Oh, right. Right.
We know what was going on in there.
We saw a little bit of Droop's like childhood, his backstory. But I think that what makes Droop interesting is not so much his backstory, but his, like, if we're gonna look back at Droop's life, what's happened in this campaign is probably the most interesting aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Geez,
so like we've seen Droop's life, we've seen the interesting part of Droop's life, not through a flashback, but through the actual play of this. Whereas Azrael has some interesting stuff that happened before this, and so does Gamer Bardoin, and so we're going to see some of that from coming up in the next. But we started this session with a good old-fashioned Zombo fight. And these guys were pretty annoying. They weren't exceptionally tough, and they weren't, like, doing a whole shitload of damage to you, but they sure were obnoxious.
Yeah, they were.
Yes,
they were.
So let's take a look at the zombie stat block. We like to pop these open from time to time and take a look at the creatures that we're fighting. So the big one on here obviously is this feat called Undead Fortitude. If damage reduces the zombie to 0 HP, it must make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5 plus the damage taken, unless the damage is radiant or from a critical hit. On a success, the zombie drops to 1 HP instead. So, unfortunately, for a character like you, like Azrael, is that you have a ton of attacks, and you can attack many times throughout a turn. Your action economy is exceptionally high, but those individual attacks are doing 6 damage, 4 damage, 7 damage. And so these guys have a great con score. I mean, look, they have a 16 con, and so these fortitude saves were pretty easy for me to hit when I'm talking about a 12 or an 11. And so, unfortunately, Azrael was playing like Rock'em Sock'em Robots with these zombies, and it just wasn't never enough.
Freaking Marty.
Yes, Marty. Yes, Marty. What are the named characters mean a lot in our campaign. So I'll name a character for fun, just to mess with the players. I will say though that luckily you have a character like Droop in your party, which is just he just lays out damage like it's nothing. I mean, he's doing 20 plus points of damage to these dudes, and so. It's kind of, sometimes in these combats, it's kind of like, how do we keep everybody alive long enough in order for Droop to just finish everybody off?
For real.
I mean...
Him and his sneak 'em stabbers is...
Droop's 2d6, or I don't know, might even be like 3d6 now, sneak attacks, and like, it's absurd, but... he's a glass cannon too in a lot of ways, which is that he's not a frontline fighter, and if he stands up there for too long, then the combat turns into Droop is unconscious and dying, Droop is healed, Droop is unconscious and dying, Droop is healed, and so it gets into a little bit of that area of it. I thought that I had a lot of fun in this combat. As fuck. She had some fun spells that we don't often see a ton of. Moonbeam was out there for a while, and that was doing some damage over time. And GB even got a few stabbers in there with some melee combat that she doesn't get to engage in very often. So, this combat was really just more of an annoyance than anything else. I don't think anybody was in any real mortal danger for a lot of this, but it did take up a significant chunk of our time playing. Afterwards, you guys had to spend some time deciding where
we actually got 2 clips from that one, though.
Oh, yeah.
Or 1 clip, and then the other part, which is just hilarious.
Are you talking about the pants?
Yeah.
We're gonna end this with a great clip of talking about Vlore's character Azrael's clothing choices.
So the other one, Gamer Bardoin comes to the rescue.
All right, let's take a look. Yeah, you killed him. You finally did it.
I can tell you that Marty took a total of 8 hits from Azrael. 6 of them should have been killing blows.
Yeah, you killed him. You finally did it.
I counted
finally,
them.
so
I counted
Azrael is just like,
No.
and then Gamer Bardo is just like, stab him once and he falls down.
Oh, that's right,
dies.
because I failed my save,
Azrael
right?
slaps the rapier out of her hand. It's yeah, I think.
He's been using him as a punching bag.
Fucking bullshit.
You gotta stick him with the pointy end.
Yeah, so in this combat, this zombie, which we named Marty, Azrael had literally killed, like Vlor said, 8 times. But I kept passing the Constitution saving throw, so he kept popping back up. And then Gamer Bardoin steps in with 1 stab. I failed the con save, and he permanently died. So we were just like, Azrael must have just been like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, really? Really?
Yep. I was like, get out of here.
And what was there? Do you have another? What's the other clip that you sent me from this area? Because I see that Mama's advice.
Yeah. So Droop was attacking something, and he's like, "Well, if it doesn't work, hit him with the other one." That's what my mom always told me.
let's watch this. I don't remember this.
Well, if it doesn't work, hit him with the short sword.
Okay.
That's what my mom always told me. Well, if it doesn't work, hit him with the short sword.
Okay.
That's what my mom always told me.
Gamer Heroin looks like so incredulous for that. There was some discussion after this, Vlor, as to where you were going to go. I mean, obviously this is a pretty big dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
What is your first of all, like what do you think? What did you think? Just where did you want to go? Because I don't really remember. And then tell me, because your character was pretty heavily involved in what happened, what we did.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you. I had no clue where to go. There are so many twists and turns in this place. But Droop did make a good point, though, about the door that we came through to get to the bellows and the forge area was barricaded from the other side. So it did make sense that we wouldn't need to come into the room that we're currently in, that we could go back the opposite way up the stairs near the lake, because that's where those people had been. And we knew from the knoll that there were still unexplored areas of the cave or the caverns. So, it kind of made sense not to continue heading in any of the directions that were here, but back towards the lake.
Yeah, so that's a really good point, is that you got some good information because you took the time to learn the information, frankly.
Yeah.
That the Knolls knew that there were some parts of this dungeon that were completely under the Black Spider's control, and there were other parts of the dungeon that were just unexplored, basically, or still wild. They were still in the process of clearing it out. So the fact that you came in here and saw a bunch of what you would probably consider like wild stuff, zombies and the flame skull, that led you and Droop to believe, or that led Droop to believe that maybe you were heading into these wild sections rather than the parts that were under the Black Spider's control. As I recall, you came down here in the canal first and just were checking out what was happening up there, and you saw that there was some pretty sheer cliffs here, 20, 25 feet, I think I said, and you also saw some bugbears up there. They didn't notice you because you had a great stealth roll. Kind of wished you probably could have moved that stealth roll forward to the next little section here, which didn't quite happen.
We also got a new form of measurement. Droops.
That's right. How many droops is it up there? How many droops do you have to stand apart for social distancing for?
I'd probably say like 2.5.
2.5 droops you have to keep.
Yeah, I imagine he's only like 2.5, 3 feet.
Yeah, so you kind of backed out of there. I was interested in heading through this tunnel to see what was happening over here. Gamer Bardwin headed down here, just kind of looked down the hallways, but ultimately you decided to turn back around and headed up here. As you rounded the corner up here, you, Azrael, in stealth mode, saw, a hallway down to your left that ended, it looks like, in a little alcove. You weren't sure. And then to your right, you saw what was, you understood just from the layout of this dungeon, to be the top of those cliffs that you saw earlier. And on that cliff, you saw a drow elf female.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys backed up, and you had a pretty significant amount of time where you're like, what are we going to do now? There was some talk of splitting the party and attacking this from two sides. So 2 people would attack from below and 2 people would attack from above. You guys weren't crazy about that because you felt like it was going to take quite a bit to get the party together if you were in a fight like that. And so ultimately, Azrael and Droop were sent up there to start the combat. I mean, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
You have to tell me, did we both fail or was it just Azrael?
It was just Azrael.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was like within one, I think, within 1 or 2. It was close. She obviously has like she's obviously a very high CR character.
And I had a plus from, I think, Jackson at that point.
Yeah, this was where everybody was really laying out every sub advantage, everything that they had saved up. People were dumping onto this part of the fight. You even used some more stuff later on, I think, in this fight. Yeah. But essentially, before you guys can really sneak up on her and execute the first part of your plan, she sees you and combat begins. The first thing that happens in this combat was, well, actually, it was the order of the combat was extremely important. Semi-proud Canadian, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the fish tank. Because you went first in this combat. Azrael went first, and then the drow was second, and then Droop was third. And so you went first.
I think the drow actually got a reaction and turned invisible first.
I don't think that's true.
Because otherwise I could have gotten up to the drow and done a hit. But at the very beginning, I ran into the room and did a patient defense because I didn't know where she was.
We'll have to watch it back. I'm not super sure. But her first, in any case, her first action was to go invisible. So she disappeared. Droop runs in, plants the rod in the ground, and you see her visible then flying above the chamber, kind of really where she is now on the map, even though this has moved quite a bit from when this happened.
Mm-hmm.
At the point you see a flying drow elf that had turned invisible, Vlor, what is your thought as a character? Are you saying like, oh fuck.
God damn it.
Yeah.
The only thought that I had was, we're not going to be able to do any damage if she's flying.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thought that I had. I mean, most of our party is, close combat, not really ranged. I mean, we've got one ranged character, and then I who can cast out some spells, but for the most part, we're close combat. We need that person on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, Gamer Bardwin can fire arrows, but against a combatant like this, you gotta say like we're gonna need more than that. We're gonna need more than our bard flinging crossbow bolts to end this. There was also a couple bugbears up here, so that was no small thing either. They had to spend a turn basically getting up to you, but the fact that you have a couple bugbears in this combat was not nothing either, because you couldn't just all focus on her. You had to kind of deal with them first. So she is flying around up there, and you, Azrael, try to tackle her in midair.
Yeah.
Fail the first time, and then basically spend your entire next turn and all of your key points I made you spend to try to do it again. And you successfully did it the next time, but it had to be disappointing for you when she disappears from your grasp.
Oh, it was, yeah. Yeah.
So you're able to climb
say
up
the
the
least.
thing, leap off the side, successfully grapple her in midair, and then on her very next turn, she misty steps out of your grasp and is just gone again. And at that point, I feel like that's when everybody in the party, that's when all the characters were like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
this is a strong combatant." The next thing that she does is she does an illegal move. She does an illegal move, which is to cast what I later told you guys just outright was the spell Cloud Kill. I think
Yeah, I thought she did Cloud Kill before that.
before,
My turn for her to Misty Step.
probably so, because the Cloud Kill had moved. The Cloud Kill moved because the spell actually moves by itself.
Yeah.
So I think even Cunning Fox was like, "What is this fucking Cloud Kill?"
Yeah, as soon as it was cast.
What is this Cloud Kill? And like, of course, yes, it is Cloud Kill. It was Cloud Kill. How familiar are you with the spell, Laura, at all?
Not too familiar. I don't know a whole lot about it.
I wanna talk about this spell. So I mentioned that I did an illegal move, which is that as we alluded to before, there was two things that were requiring concentration here. One was her levitate, her flying ability, and one was the actual Cloud Kill itself. So I cheated. I can't say notorious cheater fish suit.
Yep, you heard it here first, folks. Notorious cheater fish suit.
I
Charles
can't
L.
say
Fish
that this would not, I can say pretty definitively that my cheating here probably did have some effects on this combat. I'm going to do my best to rectify them when we start up our next session, but I mean, it's just, I have very little experience playing a high-level caster like this, and so it's straight up just nothing malicious. It was just a mistake on my side. But Cloud Kill is a 5th level spell, which is going to give you some more information about this drow elf that you're fighting.
Yeah, that's high level right there.
Yeah, 20-foot radius of fog centered at a point. It spreads around corners that lasts for the duration or until a strong wind disperses it. It is heavily obscured when a creature enters a spell for the first time or on a turn it starts there. A creature makes a con save. The creature takes 5d8 poison damage on a failed save. Which could very easily kill any of our characters that are, even if they're not unconscious already, like 5d8, if I roll high enough, that could kill you outright. A fog moves 10 feet away from you at the start of each of your turns, rolling along the surface of the ground, blah, 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 blah. So Cloud Kill's a pretty cool spell. I've never cast it in a campaign before, so I was really looking forward to it, and I got to cast it, and boy, oh boy, is your party in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
When we ended the session last time, the Cloud Kill was moving away from her, and it engulfed Gamer Bardowin, who is all alone over there. She's got a bugbear in the thing with her. I don't think you need to worry too much about the bugbear, because he's in the Cloud Kill as well. But Gamer Bardowin is now in the Cloud Kill, and she is unconscious and dying. Which is pretty scary. It's got to be pretty scary. I know that you guys spent probably, at the end of every session, you guys spend a few minutes kind of just chit-chatting with each other about the session that just took place while I end the stream. Sometimes I'll pop in and say, "What's up?" I heard that there was some scheming. In the after campaign in the after session chat. Can you give us some insight into the scheming that was happening?
No, sir, I can't. I can tell you that we are going to campaign for subs on that day to get GB some pluses.
Okay.
There may be some other things planned as well. I don't know. I cannot speak to those things.
That's fair. Yeah, I would say that this is probably the most mortal danger that one of the characters has been in since the dragon fight with Venom Fang. There is the highest chance that you're going to have a character death in the next session than we've had going into any session ever. I mean, like, I'll joke about it. Like, lol, these bugbears are going to kill you next time because that's fun, and it just makes it fun for me to antagonize you guys into, because you've never really been in a really, really bad spot.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, there's no joke. Like this, there is a probably 60 to 75% chance that that Gamer Bardem is gonna permanently die here. I mean, there's no way around it. She's gonna take a massive amount of damage from that. Entering the thing is gonna be bad news. Even if Droop tries to get in there, it's gonna be bad because he's already low, because he's taken damage from it already. And so I'm nervous and excited to see what happens at the start of the next session. Vlora, we're gonna end it there, but we're gonna play a fun little clip at the end here, because if you haven't figured out by now, if you're just watching these recaps on YouTube or you're not able to catch the entire sessions when we do them on Twitch, about half of these sessions are just us laughing at stuff that's happening and laughing about inside jokes about these campaigns. And so Vlora was kind enough to grab a timestamp for this very session. It was earlier in the session where we were having the zombie fight, and we were talking about some of Azrael's clothing choices. So we're gonna end the podcast with that. So for my co-host Vlora, I'll say that I hope that all of your 20s are natural.
And don't leave them hanging.
Enjoy this clip, and we'll see you guys back here in a couple of weeks. There we go.
Just stab this one because, I know Azrael's got my back, which is also weird because Cunning said naked old man, and now I can't get it out of my head.
His cheeks are resting on top of your head.
We forget, but he hasn't changed how he dressed except for put on a cape, which I will remind you is a curtain.
No. He spent some time in Phandalin, sewing it.
Okay, a fancy curtain.
Is he just a trash man now?
We have
in a trash bag.
Occasionally we cut a regal image of him, but I will remind everyone that he still looks like a hobo.
Well, I think that Vlora said that Azrael started to be a little bit more kempt. He doesn't look like the wild man that he once did. He's taking care of his beard and hair.
Oh, okay.
He still dresses like a hobo. I mean, that's his only clothes.
There's been so many clothes you could have looted.
We have those fucking cloaks.
You've
still,
been
probably.
in town. I mean,
I have a
And
cloak. I have a
Those
cloak.
red
Can't you
cloaks.
see it?
what he chose to take for clothes was a curtain.
Old habits die hard, I guess.
We just Droop better.
Droop actually has a crown on.
Droop is dressed like an actual king.
Well, I guess we know who's loved in this party.
Tell me about it.
I feel like it says how much we love you that we deal with your nakedness.
I mean, you could have at least once tried to offer me some decent pants. Nobody offered me a pants or a new shirt. Do you know how many holes is in this one?
You guys have been able to see my balls since Thunder Tree.
Yeah, and nobody said anything. I mean, they are hanging exceptionally low.
We just didn't
But
look.
still.
I leans over to Gamer Bardawan and she's like, "Do you think he knows? He's gotta know."
Not a clue. Not a clue. Ooh, it's kind of breezy today.